Hey, gorgeous ones. It's telling me to rotate my device, but I think I'm okay this way. So let's just see if I'm all upside down. Let me know if I'm upside down and you're watching this. We're live this morning. It's Beks Thompson from Beacon, and I'm in my car before yoga because I feel like having this bit of warmth and containment because, dear friends, dear sisters, there's movement afoot, right? Can you feel it? I don't know about you, but there's a lot of people that I know where there's a lot of change happening. And if you know anything about change and growth, it is scary. It has to be scary. So just take a moment. Just breathe out and feel your body. It's okay. It's okay. There are two things that we have in life that we are moving towards. It is either we're in a phase of growth or we are protecting ourselves and we're actually in a state of dying, of retracting, protection. But if you think about it, in both situations there is fear, right? There's fear of moving forward. There's fear of growth, fear of change. It's inevitable because to grow, we have to get outside of that comfort zone. But it is a very different fear. Well, actually, it's probably almost the same fear, but what we do with it is very different to when we are protecting ourselves and we are pulling back. And the thing is, if you let this fear come up and hijack you without dealing with it, then you are going to push yourself into protection just at the point when you are being offered an opportunity to stretch out and expand into a phase of growth. So just sit with that for a minute, yeah? Fear is inevitable, and it can either take you into growth, because that's what it wants to do, or it's going to push you back into a state of protection, being stuck and dying. So what do you do? What do you do? The first thing that you have to do is to recognize your fear. You have to recognize that you are fearful. Now, we are very good at putting a mask down because in fearful states in the past, we've run, fight, flight, we've run, we've fought, we've blamed, we've dug our heels in, we've maybe tried to make a situation positive and sort of befriended, if you like, or we've just numbed off and detached from it. So one of the first things you need to do is to think, are you, oh, I'm sideways, says Kate. Okay, so maybe we can't do, that was fun. So obviously we can't do sideways anymore on Facebook. Thanks, Kate. How's that? So one of the things is to recognize, are you in a place of fear? Because if you have this pattern of numbing out to fear, of numbing out to pain, then you're not necessarily going to know that fear is coming up for you. And this is imperative. So this is self-inquiry to start with. Thanks, Kate. As to whether you're in a fearful place. Are you trying to run away from a situation? Are you trying to make it just look better and put a positive spin on it? Sort of befriend the whole situation and not acknowledge your fear? Are you fighting? Are you starting to blame and put up your defenses and attack this situation? Yeah? Or are you just freezing? Are you stuck in a place of like, I can't do anything. I can't do anything. I'm just too scared. I just don't know. I'm stuck. Because these are ways that we avoid our fear. These are amazing avoidance tactics. So that's the first thing you need to do, is to start inquiring when you feel something other than just beautiful equanimity, something's coming up. What is happening and what's your strategy that you are avoiding that fear? And once you've recognized that, you're like, okay, there's fear here. And then you can start to address, what is that fear? And just allow yourself to feel the fear. Because up till now, you've perhaps not allowed yourself to even feel it. And when we suppress it, we're in protection. You cannot grow when you are in protection. So now you're feeling the fear. You're feeling the fear. And to not let this get carried away into the heart and the head and the stories start running, we have to drop down into our body. And in the work that I do, we drop into our sacral space. For women, this is womb space. So it's in, back and down into your pelvic space. Why? Because this is a place of safety. So just, if you're watching this right now, just drop into your body. Feel as if you're coming in, back and down, because fear is a projection out into the future of what could happen. So we have to come back into presence, in, back and down in our body, and sit back in this moment. And in this sacral space, there is safety. There is an anchoring down into earth, into support, and also into feeling, allowing us to really feel what's happening rather than this superficial emotion or reaction or numbness or don't know what to do. So you need to drop back and down and acknowledge this fear and speak to it. I can see that there is fear here. What is this fear? And from this place of presence in the body, start to inquire and forgive the fear, because how often do we blame or judge ourselves for being fearful? I shouldn't be scared of this. This shouldn't be a thing. I should be in ease and flow. I should be able to manifest this, or I've dealt with this before. So just forgive yourself. It's okay. I forgive this fear. It's okay to feel this fear. What does this fear have for me? What information, what learning? And ask it, because sometimes for me right now, I've got a bit of fear coming up. We're potentially moving house. This is a big financial stretch. There's the fear of going outside of our comfort zone on that level, as well as, is this the right decision? Because we have a very nice house right now, but there's a few things that we keep coming back to that we would like. And so the fear comes up around, am I worthy of more? Do we need more? Is this just selfish? Can we afford it? But one of my root fears, when I just really sit down into that, is this fear that it's the wrong decision. That's one of my core fears, is that there's lots of choices, and maybe this is the wrong choice. This isn't the one that we're supposed to do, yeah? The divine timing, the, divine breadcrumbs. But when we come back into this place of presence, we can sit with it and just allow that fear. Now this is going to be different for all of you, of sitting back in and allowing what that fear really is. And you can inquire and go, is that the main fear? What am I feeling? When have I felt that fear before? How old is the part of me that's feeling this fear? Because when you start to inquire this way, you will tend to discover that your fears obviously are not based on this moment. Your fears are based on your past experiences. They are based on ways that you have built up this collage of how life is and who you are and how life plays out for you. And if we want to move forward, if we want growth, we have to sit with the fear, and we have to be okay with that, and we have to acknowledge where that's come from. And yes, you need to discern if there's a real fear, but the only way you can do this is from presence. Because if I look at my sums for this house and I go, we cannot afford this, then that's a real fear coming up saying, you can't afford this. Slow down, pull back, reassess. You're getting a little carried away with your dreams and desires in your mind and not listening to your body. And maybe there's a tiger out there, maybe there's a car about to shoot across your path, and you have to, there's fear. So that's a little reality check of right now. But you can't base your reality on your past and what could happen. You have to get comfortable with what is real right now. Acknowledge the fear from the past. Let that soften, and then you can let the rational mind go, okay, there's not actually a fear. We could afford this. We could do some tweaks or whatever it is for you. So now I'm just dealing with this handbrake of fear from my past, and dropping into womb space and having this self-inquiry allows that to dissolve, so that you can now sit in your presence whilst holding a space for the potential of what you can achieve and the potential of what this opportunity is bringing for you. The reason you're in fear in the first place, yeah? Because you have to create that space for the growth to occur, for you to move forward into. But you have to do it from presence. Because if you try and go too far into the future, it is scary. You don't know what's going to happen then. I don't know if I'm going to get a different contract, a different job, you know, a different scenario. You don't know what's going to happen in your world. But you know how you are right now, and you can release what's holding you back from the past. And that creates the gateway for the potential. You can hold this sense of expansion, and that there is space for you to move into. So play with this. This is not easy. You need to continuously play with what you're feeling and create space in your life to move away from protection and to acknowledge these emotions and reactions and what the fears are that are underlying, because there is always fear in a negative emotion. Always fear in a negative emotion. Yeah, write that down if you're listening. There's always fear in a negative emotion. And so if you are feeling fear, like I say, you are either, well, you are nearly always, I would say, about to have a moment of expansion, and your choice is to protect, unless there's a tiger coming, or to grow into that. And you have to be very aware in that moment to see what is going on for you. And if you make the choice to sit with this and create the space, then I can assure you that you will move forward continuously into growth. And it doesn't stop being scary, but you become much more comfortable with that fear. It becomes much less paralyzing. And the opportunities that you are given are so much more amazing, yeah, and so much more expansive. And you will start really living on purpose, with intent, with your passion, with way more joy, because you are listening to yourself, and you are allowing, and you are growing, and you are shining. So let me know what fear patterns you have if you're happy to share, because this always helps everyone. Is there something in your life right now that's bringing up fear for you? And when you sit with it in this way, what happens? What's underneath that fear? What's the younger part of you that has felt that fear before, perhaps, and is now reliving this and is, you know, awakened by this fear right now? And if you sit with it, can you dissolve and come to the sort of reality check of, I'm actually safe right now, and hold space for this growth and potential? Let me know, because it is always so beautiful to hear what your responses are to this. And I also would love to offer you a resource this week, because I am coming to Brisbane, baby, and doing an Art of Feminine Present workshop. Now, this is one part of my work, which really keeps drawing us back into this very feminine state of presence, so that we can hijack our fears before they hijack us. Because that is the crucial part of growth. And if you want to be seen and be heard, if you want to inspire change in others, as well as get traction on the change that you want in your life, then this is work that you need. And you do have to have been on a bit of a personal or spiritual growth path for a while, because this is deeper work where we're getting embodied practices and processes and real change. So this is not for those just looking for the next shiny thing and the magic pill. This is about tangible embodied practices that you will need to take into your life, and you can, easy to do, to make huge, massive changes in your life. Yeah, so if you would like to join me, then I'll put the link in the comments below, because Early Birdie is coming up towards the end of next week. It's on March the 11th in Brisbane, and I would love you to join me if you're a woman who wants to make conscious change, who wants to be seen and heard, who really wants to move past some of their patterning which is holding them back. Yeah? So have a great day. I'm off now to do my yoga class. Stay warm, stay dry. It's very wet and windy still here on Bribey, and I'll see you next week. Mwah. Love you guys. Bye.